Hey everyone, it's Mr. Mirror, and it's finally time I get around to doing this rant. Yes, people. About a year ago, I said I would do a rant on this subject, but it's finally now that I finally get around to doing it. What's it going to be about? G4. That's right. Now, before I get into this rant, I know that there are many rants out there already about G4. I know Time Warp's done a rant about it. Almost everyone's done a rant. Willy Boy's done a rant about it. Magus X1's done a rant about G4. Who else? Westside Steve's done a rant about G4. Just keep that in mind even. Most recently, Muse Productions did a rant on it. But one thing I noticed with most of their rants is that most of them do not really go into detail about G4. I'm not saying any of those rants are bad. Is that several the ones that I saw don't really go into detail about TechTV. But that's what I'm going to cover in my rant here. So, also, this rant is going to be divided into several chapters, like my Jonas Brothers rant. Chapter 1, this video is going to be about the beginnings of TechTV. Chapter 2 is going to be about the beginnings of G4. Chapter 3 is going to be about the merger between G4 and TechTV and the subsequent decline of the channel. And the final chapter, Chapter 4, is going to be my final thoughts on this whole situation. Alright, let's get into this thing. Alright, ZDTV, which is what TechTV was originally called, started in May of 1998. Now, for those of you who don't know, the ZD in ZDTV stands for Ziff Davis. Ziff Davis Media is a publisher and an internet company, and they are the former publishers of Electronic Gaming Monthly. I don't really trust professional reviewers to begin with, but that's a different rant. Alright, let's get into the shows. I'm not going to talk about all the shows, I'm just going to talk about the ones that I remember watching a lot. First show I remember watching is The Screensavers. It was a 1-hour program hosted by Leo Laporte and Patrick Norton. It mainly focused on tech news, Windows tips, some freeware you can get. I remember one time they showed how to overclock your AMD processor. Some reviews of technological gadgets. They answered a few calls from viewers, and they also hosted LAN parties from time to time. It was awesome. And the show also had, I believe, Martin Sargent and Morgan Webb on it. The second show I remember watching a lot is Call for Help. Now, unlike the Screensavers, Call for Help pretty much exclusively focused on viewer call-ins, and Leo Laporte would host a show and he would answer those calls, and from time to time he would have special guests on the show to discuss the latest technological news, tips, and whatnot. And later on, the hosting duties will be picked up by Chris Pirillo. He was a pretty good host too. Alright, next show I remember watching is called Fresh Gear. Basically, I believe it was a half-hour show focused on reviewing the latest technological gadgets and previewing the latest technological gadgets, stuff like that. It was a pretty good show. And finally, there's the last show I remember watching was a little show called GameSpot TV. Yes, GameSpot actually at one time had their own television show. Imagine that. It mainly focused on, it was a half-hour show focused on video game news and reviews. It was hosted by Adam Sessler and Kate Vitello. It was a pretty decent show. They still use the 0 to 10 rating scale, or 0.1 to 10 rating scale, whatever the hell GameSpot uses. Anyway, it's GameSpot, so you know it's not going to be exceptionally good reviews on there. Alright. Then, in August of 2000, ZDTV changed its name to TechTV. The show stayed pretty much the same, but there were a few other additions that I enjoyed, such as Unscrewed with Martin Sargent and Anime Unleashed. Yes, Anime Unleashed featured animes that did not show on Toonami, such as I believe Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi, Serial Experiments Lane, and a few other series. And yeah, it was a pretty awesome show. Soon after that, soon after the name change, GameSpot TV changed its name to Extended Play. I guess you can see where it's going from here. It was still hosted by Adam Sessler and Kate Patel at first, but eventually its hosting duties were taken over exclusively by Adam Sessler. And Extended Play took place in an arcade called the Patreon, I think it's called, and it was mainly a serious tone, which I enjoy thoroughly. I mean, we all need some serious in these review shows. Then, in April 2003, Extended Play transformed into the cesspit we all know and hate as X-Play. And a new co-host was added, Morgan Webb, and it was not serious at all. I mean, it featured all these pointless, unfunny skits, based on video games, and the reviews were not done seriously at all, and just bad reviewing overall. I don't like X-Play. Alright. I mean, some people may like the skits, thought they were funny. I did not like the skits at all, so that's all I had to say about that. And yeah, there are some other shows on there I didn't really watch, such as Max Headroom and the Thunderbirds, but yeah, that's pretty much that's all I have to say about TechTV and its history. I didn't watch it as much as G4, but I did watch it some. So that pretty much does it for Chapter 1. Now, Chapter 2, I'm going to be talking about the origins of G4. So stay tuned, everyone.